Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Frank the Fresh. I first want to say thank you to everyone who supported the channel so far. I know I don't usually post as often as I should or could be up here when it comes to long form content, but I promise I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna do more of that. But today I wanted to come to y'all and speak about a specific topic, right? So with the release of Akai's MPC Live 3 and the MPC XL, I feel like the MPC1 Plus has kind of gotten lost in the mix somewhere. There are a lot of people out there referring to this machine as an entry-level unit when it's definitely not. And I'm speaking to those music producers and creators who are extremely sample-based. You know, we don't require a lot of the bells and whistles, but the workflow that the MPC1 Plus offers suits our needs. This isn't going to be a review video where I go into any deep dives about the specs and comparisons against the other units. This is just strictly a conversation, right? Because I feel like when it comes to the purpose of the entire MPC lineup, you know, these machines started off as sample-based, you know, units, right? For those of us who chop samples, you know, we import samples in from record players and other sources and devices, but we just want to use these machines to chop samples, layer drums, layer bass lines, and get right to work. And that's where I feel like the MPC1 Plus shines. So Akai, if you are listening, please do not abandon this form factor right here. Reason being is because it's direct and to the point. I mean, I have the MPC Live 3, and I find myself going back to this machine a lot more than, you know, what I thought I would be doing. And reason being is because it is just the perfect workflow, the perfect form factor, the clickable buttons. It just works. And not to mention that the layout just really calls for, you know, being able to dial in, you know, as specifically as we need to when it comes to sample-based production, as, you know, myself and countless numbers of you out there do. But, you know, if there's one thing I want to say, it's that, you know, Akai, when it comes to the innovation, they are knocking it out of the park. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to go into the deep dives of it, but if you know, you know. But what I really want to see them do is continue to build upon this specific form factor without going too far off the cliff. And I mean, we don't need a lot of, you know, again, bells and whistles that the other machines are coming with, because you get what you pay for. But for those of us who want to stick to a very simplistic form factor for recording our samples into this machine and layering and chopping the way that we have been, I just want to see them build upon that, you know? If they want to put the, you know, expressive pads on this unit, that'd be great. You know, I just don't want them to get too carried away, you know what I mean? If they want to boost the RAM some, and, you know, which would afford us the opportunity to get better results when it comes to stem separation on this machine, that would be great as well. But, you know, all of the, you know, I guess the enhancements that come with the MPC Live 3 and the MPC XE, you know, when it comes to performance-based use, I don't know that we need all that on the MPC1 Plus, you know? This thing is pretty portable as is. I'm not tripping that it doesn't have a battery in it, because as far as I'm concerned, if I'm taking this machine with me anywhere, I plan to be somewhere where I can hook up to a power source. But that's just me. It's continuing to be largely used by a lot of our favorite, you know, producers who, you know, we admire, such as Conductor Williams, you know what I mean? I don't know that it requires, you know, a lot of the other things that the more higher end units come with. It's affordable, it's a small form factor, and you can produce the same results as you would get with the other units, you know? So, you know, just barring some adjustments with the RAM and, I guess, you know, changing the pads on this thing, I don't think we need much of anything else. This unit is perfect. So when I hear people refer to it as an entry-level device, when it's running the same software, you know, minus, you know, the number of inputs and outputs that you get on it, it's not really a big of a deal to me, and I'm pretty sure others can agree. This is not an entry-level unit, because if you've been part of the Akai ecosystem for a while, you can still produce the same results as you would get with the other machines. Again, I love this thing. It's perfect, you know, small form factor. But I just wanted to speak to those of us who still use this device, because I don't want, you know, the MPC One users to get lost in the shuffle, you know, when Akai is thinking, of innovation and moving forward. So yeah, I didn't want to take up much of your time. Just wanted to get up here and give some flowers to the MPC1. This unit is still very much so a beast. It is not entry level by any means. So, sorry, I hate to burst anyone's bubble out there, but it's good. It's perfect. And if you want to go to my channel, I have plenty of examples of me using this machine. It's really a part of my everyday workflow when it comes to it. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not dissing or downplaying the MPC Live 3 or the XL, because like I said, I have the Live 3. I love that machine, but I find myself going back to the MPC One Plus a lot, just because it gives me a condensed workflow, a condensed form factor. I can easily access, my program edit, sample edit, not having to do a lot of menu diving on this machine, and it works. So yeah, that's it, man. That's all I had to say. Frank the Fresh, man. I hope everyone's doing great. Continue to produce, great music. And yeah, if you want to see me do more of the content like this, just hit that like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. All right. Y'all have a good one. Peace.